Welcome to
the Taufa Brothers podcast.
I came across this interesting video by a local news channel that discussed a hypersonic plane that will fly you from Florida to China in less than an hour.
Well, imagine this, flying from Tampa to China, Australia, or anywhere else in less than an hour. Flight engineers at the University of Central Florida are figuring out the secret to safe hypersonic travel.
There are pros and cons to this situation. One of my concerns is, what if the engine breaks down mid-flight? Another of my concerns is, how will people react according to health issues? It is also beneficial. It helps people go to place in a matter of minutes or hours. Now, what is your opinion about this situation, Narni?
I have a few concerns about this. So I was a little bit skeptical of the video at first. I looked into it. So what engine they're using, it works like short bursts of fire and energy instead of one long lasting fire. So it makes it faster. Gotta think about stabilization of the engine because this thing is going less than an hour from Florida to China. It's gonna be heated. So they also gotta think about stabilization because what if the engine breaks down? Free materials, right? They gotta find the right material, but they also gotta think the cost of all of these materials. If it's gonna be too costly and it's not gonna be practical to buy and start mass producing, then why would they ever do it? And the engine itself isn't even that new. It was studied in World War II, 1940s, and a lot of scientists says, this engine ain't stabilized enough. There's not enough stabilization for this engine to be any good for commercial use.
This doesn't come as a surprise at all. I think that we have come a long way as a society. If you look at the course of history when it comes to traveling, we started with horses, then bicycles and cars to travel through land. Then we ventured out into the world. We used canoes and boats. Then came airplanes. I believe that as time goes on, people definitely get smarter. Technology gets better along with innovation. It's no surprise to me. The only thing is, what may seem new to us is old to them, because I believe that they've been working on building an engine that can cut the time of travel by 80 or 90%. The only difference now is that they have created an engine that can reach those high speeds and get you to that place faster. The only other thing is how they're going to put it together and build it into a plane. But other than that, we continue to grow as a society and make things so much easier for people, whether it's travel or communication. Just look back in history with communications. People used to write letters. Then came telephones and emails. Now we have cell phones. We can use video calls. So they're always going to get better when it comes to innovation. And we just live in a time now, we have so many things we can use to our advantage. You can look at air travel. You can travel through a private jet and travel across America in 2 hours. With an airplane, it takes you 6 hours. So they've already cut that in half. Now they've just built an engine that's actually faster than a flight jet. You can actually fly across the world from Florida to China in a matter of an hour or two. It's amazing, but it doesn't surprise me one bit.
And right now, commercial airlines are producing a new generation of supersonic jets to cut passenger flight times in half. But while that's all drawing a great deal of excitement, as it should, these students at the University of Central Florida have already taken a much greater leap. Now, they've not yet built such a jet, but they did figure out how to stabilize a hypersonic engine in this lab. That's hypersonic as opposed to supersonic. NASA's X-59 supersonic aircraft is designed to fly 925 miles per hour. UCF's hypersonic design could lead up to air travel 14 times faster, up to 13,000 miles per hour.
Charts show that technology has risen exponentially. New advancements with technology has skyrocketed past 10 years. You would think the first car took 50 years to actually be practical. Now new innovations and new technologies come by in a snap. And it's because of how our world is advancing. So pretty soon we're gonna have these, and it's gonna come blink of an eye. I think take this a little slower just to make sure everything works right. Safety first, right? Your thoughts?
That's true. They should like test it time to time to make sure that this works and make sure that this is safe for everyone to use.
There's still normal people that don't know how to handle the G's that an astronaut would know or someone from the military would know. And if they can actually stabilize it for commercial use, that would be great. Could you imagine going to Florida, to China, less than an hour? Exactly. Military uses would be practical if they can stabilize it. But I don't want to demotivate the students actually working on this because they might be onto something. And they are onto something. I mean, this is groundbreaking news that they're actually stabilizing this engine. And it's great for people who likes travel. Really, you have to look into the logistics of this and is this realistic? Is this possible? And is this practical for commercial use? I don't have a PhD in all of this. I've done my research about this. Yeah, you gotta test it over and over again. But history has repeated so many times of people launching something new too recent or too soon. So you have to take the necessary precautions. You gotta think of all of the scenarios that will happen. And you gotta test it before you even consider putting it in commercial use, which is what we're discussing here. So there was discussion of this over a month ago, and this engine was like in World War II, they were like testing on this, right? Only then, right now, they're trying to stabilize it. This is from the College of Florida, Central Florida, and hopefully this unearths and more people know about this and more people test this because this could be groundbreaking. Thank you for watching another episode of the Taufa Brother podcast. Be sure to comment below on what you think about this new innovation. Subscribe and hit the like button if you think this episode was great. Thank you for watching. God bless.